we have to get it bi-weekly
I know,
to do
at
it,
least.
at least.
And, been trying to convince Tony to come. He goes, oh, I'm too stiff. I go, that's exactly why you need to come.
Who?
My husband.
Oh,
He's
okay.
like, please come. He's very tall and he has real trouble in doing that kinds of bends over. So this is a place for you.
Yeah, the hamstrings are,
Yeah.
I mean, just in our society, because we sit a
We
lot.
sit. Everything was like an owl.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one day I'll
Maybe. All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining me this morning, this Monday morning here at Yoga Farm Ithaca. So thank you to you that are here with me in the studio, and thank you to you who have joined us online through our amazing technology. Always seems a little bit like magic to me, but it's really great to be able to participate both here in person and through technology. My name's Penny, and I'll be the guide this morning as we go through our flow. This flow is really designed for everyone, for everybody, for every level that you believe you are in yoga. So this morning, well, let me just say this. Over the weekend, I was doing a lot of gardening, and yesterday I was running around like crazy trying to pull everything as the rain came. And so, I don't know, there's this little thing in my back going on right now. So, you might see me be a little more mindful today of some of my moves and what I'm doing. And it also influenced my presentation, my flow for today. So today it's going to be all about moving and moving through yoga without putting any kind of pressure on our shoulders or our upper bodies. So we're going to be using them, and we're still going to be stretching, and we're still going to be moving. We're just going to be mindful, at least I'm going to be very mindful, and also I'll be offering a whole lot of modifications as we go through. So, if anybody likes to use props, please grab blocks if you have them. If you're at home and you don't have blocks, you can use books. Some people even like to use rolls of toilet paper that they can put their hands on. So, whatever that is for you, gather them up, and without further ado, we'll get started this morning. So we're going to start standing up. So we'll come to a standing position. And the first thing we'll do is bring our feet right underneath our hips. And sometimes people wonder, what does that mean, right underneath our hips? Sometimes you can use your fists between your knees or between your feet to give you an idea of what that means. So toes are forward, hips are right over the feet, heart is over the hips. Just lift the shoulders, relax them back. Noticing the head as it balances on the neck. Feel the soles of the feet and feel them really connected to your mat. And as the soles connect, let them root down into the earth. And as you inhale, let that earth energy move back up through the feet, up through the legs, up through the torso, right up through the top of the head. And greeting yourself this morning, giving yourself a little pat on the back, a little gratitude for coming and being in your practice and taking this time for yourself. And I'm bringing the hands now to the lower belly, if that's comfortable. You can leave them at the side. And start to notice the breath as it moves in through the nose and out through the nose, if that's available. And with your next inhale, let the breath deepen. And as it deepens, notice as the lower belly may expand. And on the exhale, that lower belly contracts as the air moves back out again. And starting to connect the breath with the body, giving your mind that little job of breath awareness as it moves in and out. We'll move into a breathwork practice before we move into the movement this morning. And we'll do what's called the 4 square breath. And 4 square breath consists of breathing in for 4, holding the breath for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding the breath out for 4. So I'll move through it and I'll count for a few times, and then I'll let you settle into your own rhythm and your own count. So just take a nice normal breath in, breath out. And this time as you inhale, we'll inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Now move through this for 3 rounds on your own. Let your count be in rhythm with your body. It may be slower than mine, maybe faster than mine. Just finding what's in sync for you. Let the exhales be full and complete. And whenever you've finished your rounds, you could just let the breath return to a normal flow, let the hands release. And just take a moment to ground yourself, to connect with your practice. Giving yourself permission to be here in this space, in this moment, and just be. Now with the next inhale, let's lift the shoulders, and on the exhale, release them down and back. The inhale brings those shoulders up towards the ears. On the exhale, releases them down and back. Let the knees have a little bit of bend here, so we're not locking out the knees. And one more time, we'll inhale those shoulders up. next inhale lifts the chin, and the exhale brings the chin down to the chest. Now as you inhale and the chin lifts, let yourself feel like you're lifting from the top of the head and release back down. So we're not really craning the neck back. We're lifting the torso, the chest, and then releasing the chin down. And let the movement, the breath connect with the movement. This time the inhale brings the head back to neutral, and as you exhale, we'll let the head move from side to side. As you go through this, the eyes here can be open, the eyes can be closed, they can be looking down. The eyes can also follow the movement and look over the shoulder. Letting the eyes have a little bit of a stretch this morning. And bring the body back to center. And we'll lift those shoulders once again and release them down. Now this time as you inhale, just let the shoulder blades come together in the back. And the exhale comes back to neutral. So we'll inhale the shoulder blades together, the exhale to neutral. So this is a little bit different than that shoulder lifting. So just see how this feels different from you. And now we'll bring that left hand up and over and back. Just a little swimming motion here. Eyes can follow if you like. Up and back, letting the shoulders warm up. Now, if there is any issues with the shoulders, let this be very small. This can be just the rotation of the shoulders. It just can be from the elbow. And then we'll switch arms and go on the other side. And once again, it can be a gentle lift here, just a rotation of the shoulder. So what is honoring your shoulder this morning? And we'll release that down. Now we'll take an inhale and we'll bring the hands to just the cactus pose here. And if this, again, is too high for the shoulders, the hands can rest on the shoulder blades or they can stay at waist level. So we'll take an inhale here, and as you inhale, just open the chest, and on the exhale, belly button comes to spine as the forearms come together. The inhale opens, and the exhale closes. Now the elbows can drop here to whatever feels comfortable for those shoulders. And as you inhale, you'll notice that the back has a little bit of an arc, there's a little bit of a ducktail here. And as you exhale, that belly button pulls towards the back, the shoulders round. Come up and down the spine. A little bend in the knees here. Now this time we'll inhale to open the arms, and on the exhale, do a little bit of a twist to one side. The exhale brings us back to center, and the inhale to the other side. Just do a couple more turns here. Twists. Get the spine warmed up this morning. And as we inhale, the hands will drop to the side, and we'll do that twist with the hands lowered. And then back to center. We'll bring the hands right on top of the knees. The knees are bent just slightly. And we'll do a standing cat-cow. So as you inhale, that chest opens, a little bit of arch in the back. And on the exhale, the belly pulls in towards the spine, shoulders round, chin to chest. And the inhale opens you back up. Breathing in through the nose, and out through the nose, or out through the mouth. Sometimes when we want to release something, a nice exhale through the mouth can feel really satisfying. Again, just let that spine move. So we're having our hands are more for balance on our knees. We're not putting a lot of pressure on the hands. Therefore, not putting a lot of pressure on the shoulders. And then back up we come to standing. Now this time, we'll take an inhale, and as we do, we'll let that left hand right up the side. Now once we get here, there's some options. Hand can rest on the shoulder, and hand can come to a T position, or hand can lift overhead. So finding what honors your shoulder here as we open this side body. Now release that down, and we'll do the same side. The inhale brings you up the side, finding where the hand placement is as you exhale, and find that nice stretch. And then we'll exhale that down, and the other side. Inhale, lift that arm, finding your placement. And it may be different from side to side here. Can even rest on the lower back. I'll exhale this down, and inhale, come back up. Find your position, and just a slight bend here as we open up that side body, finding out wherever feels comfortable for you, and releasing that down. Now this time we'll just take that inhale, hands come to the hips, and we'll just do a little bit of a side bend here. Inhale to center, exhale to the other side, and back you come. Let's do a little shake out here. Shake that out. And we'll bring the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And we'll bring the hands up to the hips. Actually, let's do this. Let's bring those feet back under the hips. And we'll bring the hands right here to the lower back. Now we'll cock that hip out to the right. We'll bring it to the front. Let it come to the left and to the back. Now we'll start that movement, and we'll smooth that out as we round off those edges and just make a circle here. So now what we're doing here is we're keeping the whole torso in line, the head, neck, and torso, and we're moving this as a whole. So we're not bending here, we're just keeping this all nice in alignment. And we're not going past any edges here, we're just coming to that comfortable edge. Reversing the position and going the other way. Unwind some things here. And then now we'll bring the hands to the hips. And for this one, we're just going to move the hips. Just pretend like that tailbone is drawing a circle on the floor. See, and I am super feeling this one. Right up my back. So once again, you're not going past an edge, just kind of playing with whatever that edge is, going the other direction. Just noticing where the sensations are. All right, back to center we come. This time we are going to step those feet out. And we'll make some circles again here with the hips. And noticing how this feels different from what we just did. Let the hips rotate here. In one direction and then the other. Coming back to stillness. From the waist down, we'll root down, become solid from the waist down. And from the waist up, we're going to start to let that torso turn from side to side. And as the torso turns, the hands will just follow. Let the hands connect with the body, let them tap wherever they land. Maybe it's the hips, maybe it's the lower back. And you can stay right here in this position. If you want to make this a little bit more of a twist, you can lift that heel as you move into this. And just check in here. Is there one that your body appreciates more than the other? And just allow yourself to just enjoy that one. Let the lower back release a little bit here. Let this start to slowly wind down. Come back to neutral. Take that inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, release it down.
That last 4 sequence was very, very good.
Oh, good. Okay. All right, we're just going to shake things out right now. Shake it all out. Shake out the hands, the shoulders, the hips, the legs. Let everything go. Have some fun with it this morning. That's right. Okay, hips or feet come back underneath the hips. We'll do a standing sun salutation. And as always, if anyone has a really favorite sun salutation that you enjoy, please go for it. Be you. And I am going to lift my hands. Again, the hands come overhead or the hands can come to the shoulders. And if possible, the hands interlace or fingers interlace. And we'll exhale and bring the hands to the side. So once again, we'll inhale up, we'll interlace the fingers, we'll exhale and bring those fingers forward. Inhale up, and as you exhale, bend the knees, come and place the hands onto the shins, and the inhale brings you to a right angle half position here. Exhale takes you all the way down, knees bent here. Hands can be on the floor, on your ankles, on blocks. And as you inhale, roll up, pulling that belly button into the spine. Hands come up, overhead or to shoulders. And on the exhale, bending the knees, coming into chair pose. Now for chair pose, once again, hands can be on the hips. They can be forward, they can be up by the ears, but find what honors your shoulders. Then we'll inhale up, hands interlace. Exhale, hands forward. Inhale, up we go. Exhale, bending the knees, rolling forward, hands come to shins. Inhale, that halfway point. Exhale, rounding down into that forward fold. Inhale, rolling up, pulling belly button to spine, hands come up. And exhale into chair pose. So the knees are bent here, but they're not over the toes. You can still see your toes. Sitting back into that chair. Inhale up. Exhale, interlace the fingers as you roll forward. Inhale up. Exhale, coming into that right angle pose. And the exhale down to forward fold, moving at your speed here with your breath. Inhale, rolling back up, hands overhead. Exhale, chair pose. All right, inhale up. Exhale, those hands come forward, belly button to spine. Inhale up. Exhale, holding the belly button in, coming to that halfway position. Exhaling, down into forward fold. Inhale, drawing up, hands come up overhead. Exhale into chair pose. I love the breathing I'm hearing. The inhale up, exhale, pushing those palms forward, belly button to spine. Hands lift with the inhale. Exhale, bending from the hip creases. Inhale takes you to that halfway position. Exhale, rounding forward into forward fold. Inhale, pull that belly button in as you bend the knees, rolling back up to standing. Hands come overhead. Exhale into chair pose. All right, we'll move through this one more time as we inhale up. Exhale, pushing those palms forward, rounding the shoulders. Inhale, up overhead. Exhale, rounding down into forward fold. Into that halfway point. Then the exhale takes you to forward fold. Inhale, rolling up as the belly button pulls in, hands overhead. Exhale into chair pose. Now let's find a couple of breaths here in chair pose. Letting the breath bring the strength into the body. Then the inhale brings us up to standing. Exhale, release down. And just take a pause here. And give everything a shake. All right. So let's take that side stretch one more time. So we'll inhale that left hand up and we'll leave it right at the shoulder here. And we'll just do that little side bend, let the hand reach down that leg. Exhale to release. Inhale, we'll do the other side. And exhale here. Take a breath. And we'll exhale to release. And shake that out. All right. So we'll come to the top of your mat, and from the top of your mat, let's take that left leg and step it back. So that left leg is back, yet it's at a 45-degree angle. Those right toes are forward, and the hips are in that forward position as well. So we'll just take a couple of breaths here. The inhale lengthens the spine. The exhale, we bend the knee and come forward. That knee stays right over the ankle, shoulders over the hips. We'll inhale to straighten, and we'll exhale to release. So just move through a couple of these with your breath. Getting in sync with your breath and letting it be your guide. And with this exhale, we'll exhale and we'll come into that position. Now hands can be on the waist here, hands can be at heart space, Hands can be at T position, or hands can be overhead. So finding once again what honors your shoulders and your body and what is in your practice. And breathing into the sensation. Where are you feeling this? Chest is forward. The inhale brings us back to center, the hands release. And the exhale, that front leg is straight as the hands walk down that front leg. And you can rest the hands on the top of the leg, the bottom of the leg, not on the knee. Or you can even use your blocks here. So just take a couple of breaths here. Notice how the sensation has changed and where you might feel it differently. The breath walks you back up that leg, coming back to standing, and step that back foot forward, and give that a little shake. Now we'll come to stand with the legs wider than hip width apart. Both feet are facing forward, the toes are. And we'll take a nice inhale here. And as we do, we'll bring those hands up to that T position. Now, as you exhale, we'll bring that right hand down, and that left hand can reach up, be at a T position, be on the hip. And we'll do this triangle pose. Just feel yourself opening here again. And inhale back to center. And exhale to the other side. And once again, that hand comes up, comes to the shoulder, comes to the side, or even rest on the back here. So just notice. And back we come. And exhale that down. And we'll walk those toes together. And give that a little shake. Alright, so what we do on one side, we need to do on the other. Balance that out, right? Life is about balance. So we'll step that right foot back, and again, it's at a 45-degree angle. Toes are forward, hips are forward, shoulders are over the hips, and we'll take a few breaths as we bend and straighten that front knee. So that knee stays over that ankle, so if you need to adjust your stance. You can also let your stance be a little bit wider here too if it helps with your stability. And take that inhale to lengthen, and on this exhale we'll come into the pose, and we'll hold that pose in that static position. And again, you can find your wherever you would like your arms to be, and how that really honors your body. And how that feels today. Taking a couple of breaths here, feeling your strength, feeling yourself really rooted into your mat. And then as you inhale, that knee straightens, the arms release. And on the exhale, those hands walk down that front leg. And let the hands rest above or below that knee, on blocks, wherever that is today. Just release into this. Wherever the sensation is this morning, let the breath flood that area. And let the breath release whatever would like to go. And then back we come with the inhale as you tighten that core, coming back to upright. And let's step that back foot forward. And see if there's any movement your body's asking for right now. And whatever that might be, let that be. All right, so we'll step those feet again wide. Toes are forward. We're going to that triangle pose again. So we'll take that inhale, lift left arm to wherever it feels comfortable. Take a couple of nice breaths here, supporting yourself with that lower hand. And exhale that down. And we'll inhale the other side. Again, what honors your shoulders here? Or in my case, what's honoring my back right now? And then I'll release it down. Roll the shoulders. And we'll turn those toes so that they're facing more like the corners of your mat. Feet are wide and hip width apart. So we'll take a nice inhale here. And as we inhale, we'll bring the arms just up to cactus. And on the exhale, we'll bend the knees, let the knees follow the toes. And the inhale, we'll straighten. Now hands can stay right here, they can extend tall. And on the exhale, back to cactus arms, knees bend. And one more time, we'll inhale to straighten everything. And this time we're gonna exhale, come into goddess, and let that tailbone sink right down to the mat. Feel yourself, feel your strength here. Let the breath breathe that strength throughout your entire body. Exhale, releasing whatever wants to go. You're strong. Take a nice breath in. And as you exhale, hands come to the knees, or right above the knees, not on the knees, just on the upper legs. And let's find a little stretch here. So the inhale lengthens the spine, and the exhale takes us into that little twist. Inhale back to center, and the exhale to the other side. Now you can take a couple of breaths on one side and then move to the other. Or your other option is to, with every breath, move from side to side. And then back to center we come. The inhale pulls that belly button in as we lift back up, arms come overhead, or to the shoulders. And the exhale releases them down. And we'll heel toe those feet together. Now with those feet right underneath the hips again, we're just going to lift the heels off the mat and let ourselves drop down. So the lift up and just the drop. So we're not really trying to bounce our heads, we're just letting the body feel the vibration of that connection with the mat.
Boy, you might have good shoes.
What?
My shoes, I never feel this.
Alright. And get that a little shit. Alright, now we're going to go down to the mat. So we'll take an inhale here. We'll let the hands come up wherever they feel comfortable. And as you exhale, you're going to bend those knees, bend from the hip crease, and come down into that forward fold. Now in that forward fold, let the hands rest on the mat, on your blocks, on your shins. Let the head and neck really release here. Just let everything go. Maybe let the hips sway from side to side. Hands can also rest on the opposite elbow. Taking a couple of nice breaths here. Now we're using the hands for balance, so we're not putting a lot of pressure on the hands or the shoulders. And we'll just come down to one knee and then the other knee. And from here, come into that side saddle and come into a seated position. Now, as we come into a seated position, just notice how your hips are feeling this morning. When I am in this position, my back tends to round. So if I just take a blanket or the edge of my mat and just let my hips sit right there on that edge, it rounds my hips forward so I can keep that spine straight and have my movement more here in my hips. So just taking into account what is going on for you in your hips. And we'll bring the feet, the soles of the feet together here. So the soles of the feet together, the knees are wide, and we'll just let those knees flutter a little bit. Saying good morning to everything here. We'll bring that motion to stillness. Take a nice inhale and let that inhale come right up from the sits bones, right up through the spine, right up through the top of the head. And on the exhale, let that heart space lead you forward, coming into your forward fold. So we're not using our hands to pull us forward. We're allowing gravity here to be our friend right now. Coming forward. Breathing here. Just letting everything go and release. On the inhale, let the hands run up the legs to the knees. And the hands bring those knees together. And we'll bring the legs to a nice wide V position. So the legs are in that V position. Once again, if you want to sit on something, I think I'm going to here. We'll take that inhale again, lifting right up through the spine, and on the exhale, letting those fingers come forward, walking yourself forward to wherever that is. Now the knees can be bent here. The knees can be bent so that the soles of the feet are on the floor. You can also use some blocks underneath the upper leg here. So we want to breathe here. Breathing into the sensations, breathing into where you feel it. Letting those hamstrings release. And then we'll walk the hands back to center. And we'll bring that right leg in. So the right leg comes in, that left leg stays long. Now my left leg likes to have a little block here. So feel free to use any props that assist in you being able to access the pose more deeply. Once again, we take that inhale to lift, and the exhale brings us into a nice little stretch. So in yoga, we're just playing with the edges here. You know right when you hit that edge, hit that aha spot. And so we just come to the edge and we just breathe with it. And listen, sometimes your body might ask you to go a little bit deeper. And if it does, you get to choose if you want to or not. And just being with what is today. And then we'll walk those hands back to center. And we'll switch sides. All right. Take a breath. And on the exhale, come into that little walk forward. Just letting your body guide you. Following your own inner teacher here. feels easeful. And if something doesn't, use a prop, come out of the pose, letting your intuition guide you. And inhale, coming back to center, and we'll release both feet forward. Once again, as we come into this forward fold, if hamstrings are super tight, you can use a block underneath the upper leg here. Knees can be bent with feet on the floor. And as we go into the forward fold, if your knees are bent, you can experiment with letting them move forward a little bit. So let's take that inhale. Again, lengthen up through, right from the sits bones to the top of the head. And on the exhale, heart space leads us forward to wherever that is today. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, walks the hands up the legs, coming back to upright. And letting the hands rest right by the hips. Lengthening that spine. And giving those legs a little tap. Okay, so now we'll bend the knees. Bring the feet on the floor. Hands come underneath that hip crease and just roll down to the floor. Knees come in. And we'll do a little roll here. Just let the spine get a little bit of a workout as we just roll back and forth. Now this can be really small, a little roll. It can go back as far as you want or stay as small as is appropriate today. Then the next roll brings you back to seated. Hands come right behind, just to the back of the hips with the fingers forward. Knees are bent, feet are on the floor. And we'll come into boat pose today. So for boat pose, take that inhale to open the chest, and the feet lift if you choose. The feet can stay right on the floor. The feet can lift. The hands can stay on the mat. The hands can come behind the knees, or the hands can extend. So find your position wherever that is today. Let the heart space stay open. Let yourself breathe here. Let yourself shake, whatever's shaking. I know I'm shaking. And then release those feet down. Hands come back to the mat. Legs move from side to side. Okay, so back to center. Hands back to the mat. And once again, we'll find whatever boat pose is your pose this morning. So take that inhale, open the chest. Let the legs lift, find the hand position, and breathe. Pulling in that core, keeping that core tight. And the exhale releases the feet to the mat. Hands, let's come all the way down to the elbows here. And the knees move from side to side. Come back to seated, feet on the floor, knees bent, and we'll take a nice little journey down to the mat. So really pull those core muscles in, take a nice slow meander down, the vertebrae come to the mat, shoulders, neck. And just release that all down. And pull the knees into the chest. Give them a nice little hug. And we move back and forth here. Okay, so we'll bring the feet back to the mat and let your hands come right under your hips. So the hands are supporting the hips. Back is snuggled right into the mat. And we have a couple of options here as we go into some leg lifts. So for the leg lifts, one knee can be bent as one leg is long, and you can lift that foot, bend the knee, extend the other one, and lift it. So that's one option. Another option is to have the legs long, pull the knees into the chest, extend the feet up, and then lower the legs to the mat. So the knees come in, knees straighten, belly button tightens as the legs come down. And the third option is to lift the legs and to lower the legs. Again, you can do this one at a time as well. You want that back to stay nice and snug against the mat. So find your leg lifts this morning. And we'll move through this. Keeping that core nice and tight. Letting the breath move in and out. And just find whatever leg lifts work for you this morning. 2 more times here. And when you finish that second time, you can let the feet rest on the mat, soles of the feet on the mat, knees are bent, and find that nice little windshield wiper. All right, back to center. We'll bring that left foot on the floor, left knee is bent over, that right ankle up on top of that left leg. And keep that right foot nicely flexed. And with that right hand, you can put a little bit of pressure on that upper right leg. The other option is to lift the left leg, threading the fingers behind the knee or in front of the knee. But letting the head and neck really rest nicely on the mat. So shoulders, head and neck are relaxed here. And breathe, feel this nice stretch. And we'll release. If that left foot is up, let that left foot come back to the mat. Right foot stays right where it is. And now let the hips gently move from side to side. So this can be a really small motion, or it can be a large rock. And back to center. Release that right foot down. Readjust, realign the spine. Right foot's now on the mat. That left ankle comes up over that right leg. And find your expression of the pose on this side. So right foot stays on the mat, or right foot lifts. Keeping the breath. Inhale. And the full exhale. it is. And the hips rock from side to side. And release that leg down. Once again, readjust, realign, and both knees. Now come into the chest, giving them a nice hug. Take a full inhale here, and on your exhale, roll over onto that left hip, letting the knees come to the left. Right shoulder releases back to the mat. And you can support those knees with your hand if you'd like with a block. You can also bring that left hand on top of that right leg and come into the pose a little bit more deeply. Now your gaze can be over that right shoulder, gaze can be at the ceiling, or gaze can be toward the knees, which brings it into a little bit more of a restorative twist. But just breathe here. And the inhale brings the knees back to center. Once again, that little realignment, readjustment. Inhale the knees back into the chest. And the exhale takes you over to the right. Left shoulder releases back. Now arms can be down next to the hips. They can be in a cactus pose. They can be in a T position. And breathe. All right, back to center you come. Knees are still pulled into the chest with a little rock from side to side. And then feet back to the mat. One leg is extended long on the mat, and then the other. So we'll bring that left ankle right out to the left side of the mat. The right ankle comes over the left. Now once again here, be really gentle with the shoulders as the hands come overhead and that right wrist comes to the left hand. Now the hips stay nicely connected on the mat, so you're in this little banana asana, this little C pose. If this is pulling on the shoulders, you can leave the hands down to the side or leave that one hand on your shoulder. There's always modifications for every pose. And the inhale brings everything back to center. And the next exhale brings that right ankle to the right side of the mat. Left ankle over right. And that left wrist comes to the right hand. So again, finding what's comfortable for your shoulders. You can leave those arms in cactus pose if you'd like. Breathing here. All right, coming back to center. And before we prepare for the final pose of Shavasana, we'll go through what is our stretch pose. So for stretch pose, a couple of modifications for stretch pose. If you have blocks, you can use one block down by your feet and one block up by your head. For in stretch pose, we'll bring the hands underneath the hips. Legs are extended long. We're not starting quite yet, but when we get ready to start, the feet will lift up from the mat a couple of inches, as will the head, and then the breath will come right from the belly with a breath of fire. Now you can have a block underneath the feet. You can also use a block underneath the head. So we'll do this for 30 seconds. Come in and out of the pose. Let the breath, though, continue. All right, so let me get so I can see the clock. All right, so we'll take an inhale, we'll lift the feet, lift the head, and begin the breath. So come in, come out of the pose, whatever works for you. You're doing great. Just 5 more seconds. Take a nice inhale, hold, 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 and exhale, release it down, let everything go. And just take a moment here, feel whatever you're experiencing in your body, and be with it. Maybe you feel some energy moving. And we're going to prepare to do that one more time. Now your option is to use the blocks, use the modification, not do the pose at all, or take that breath, lift the feet, lift the head, and start the breath. Let your breath move at your rate. As I said, come in, come out of the pose. You're doing great. You've got 5 more seconds. Take a nice inhale. Hold, 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 hold. And exhale, release. And let everything go. Everything go down to the mat. If you'd like, you can bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together as the knees open wide. You can use blocks here to support your legs. You can also make fists and let the fists rest right where the legs and the hips meet to support the legs. And just take a couple of breaths here. You can bring the legs, the knees back together. And find whatever props you would like to use for your final relaxation pose. So if you want a bolster under the knees, I'm happy to get that for you.
Yes,
that
please.
bolster. Like a blanket over you, something under your head.
That's right.
Oh, so so take a nice full inhale and a long, slow exhale out. And one more time, take a nice long inhale. Let that inhale, that breath permeate the body. And on that complete, slow exhale out, let the breath soften you, releasing whatever would like to just go, feeling the body become heavy and soft, melting into your mat, feeling yourself being fully supported. Let the mind relax. Let the breath release to a nice natural rhythm. Let your body sink deeper, deeper into the mat. And let your mind focus on the breath. Or maybe the mind would just like to journey to some place that it loves to be. next inhale, bring awareness down into the feet and into the fingers. Finding some motion in the toes and the ankles, the fingers and the wrists. And let the knees start to bend. Letting the knees come all the way into the chest, or maybe the soles of the feet rest on the floor. The head move from side to side. Checking in with your own beautiful body as to what movement it's asking for now. Follow that intuition. Let those knees start to move from side to side. And when you're ready, rolling over onto one side, just taking a pause here, taking a moment as you transition from this yoga practice on the mat to moving that yoga practice off the mat as you move off into your day. Sending gratitude to yourself for taking this time. And be weightless, yet hold your ground. Be a compass without direction, yet have purpose. Love yourself as you radiate that love out to others. Life is about balance. It's about knowing how to sew strength into the spine and still know how to bend. And when you're ready, come up to that upright position, whether you use your hands or do that rolling that we did. Just take a moment here. If it's comfortable for you, bringing palms together in front of heart space, thumbs to sternum. The love, the light, the radiance that lives in me recognizes, honors, and is so grateful for the love, the light, the radiance that shines from you. Thank you for your gift of presence. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, honey. Took all that cranky out of my back.
Oh, good. Good.
Nice energy, you guys. I have to turn more to the right. Turn too much to the left.
Well, that's always interesting to know.
It is very
Yeah. All right. Thank you, friends at home. Thanks for being here with me.